What you're about to discover will forever change how you think about money, debt, and the hidden forces that control modern commerce. Picture this: a single overheard conversation in a fog-shrouded tavern that reveals a secret system so powerful it could transform a struggling merchant into the master of a vast trading empire, or destroy him completely if he makes one critical mistake. Captain Aldrich Blackwood thought he understood commerce. After 15 years navigating treacherous waters and trading across distant continents, he believed he had seen everything the world of business had to offer. Then, on one fateful evening in 1823, two mysterious merchants whispered about crimson stones that could bend the very laws of trade themselves. These weren't ordinary gems. They were mystical instruments that allowed merchants to acquire valuable cargo without a single gold coin changing hands. But here's what those merchants didn't tell him in that tavern, and what most people never discover until it's too late. This ancient system of deferred payment contained hidden mechanisms so sophisticated they could either elevate a trader to unprecedented wealth or trap them in a spiral of mounting obligations that would consume everything they had built. The secret they whispered about wasn't just some convenient payment method. It was an intricate web of reputation tokens, tribute obligations, and reward systems that had been quietly shaping the fate of merchants for centuries. And every single principle that governed those mystical trading stones, they're still operating today, hidden within the plastic cards in your wallet. What Captain Aldrich discovered over the next 7 years would reveal the true nature of credit, debt, and financial control that most people never understand, even those who use these systems every single day. The merchants who mastered these secrets built empires. Those who didn't, their stories became cautionary tales whispered in taverns, warnings about the devastating power of obligations left unpaid. By the time you reach the end of this chronicle, you'll possess knowledge that separates the financially successful from those who remain forever trapped by systems they never truly understood. You'll discover why some people effortlessly build wealth using the exact same tools that destroy others, and you'll learn the ancient wisdom that transforms mystical trading stones, or modern credit cards, from dangerous temptations into powerful instruments of lasting prosperity. But first, you need to understand what really happened in that mist-shrouded harbor, and why the conversation Captain Aldrich overheard would change not just his life, but reveal timeless principles that govern financial success and failure in every age. The Crimson Stones were never really about stones at all. They were about something far more valuable and far more dangerous: the secret knowledge of how credit truly works, and why that knowledge has remained hidden from most people for over 200 years. Are you ready to discover what they never wanted you to know? But Captain Aldrich had no idea that stepping through those tavern doors would lead him into a world where a single conversation could unlock secrets that powerful institutions had spent centuries perfecting. The fog outside was nothing compared to the mystery that awaited him inside. In the mist-shrouded harbor of Port Eldermere, where weathered ships dock beneath towering stone lighthouses, Captain Aldrich Blackwood first encountered something that would reshape his understanding of commerce forever. The year was 1823, though the principles he discovered remain as relevant today as they were 2 centuries ago. Aldrich had spent 15 years navigating treacherous waters, trading silk, spices, and precious metals across distant continents. His weathered hands bore scars from countless rope burns, and his keen eyes could spot a profitable deal from across a crowded marketplace. Yet nothing had prepared him for the peculiar conversation he overheard in the Salty Seahorse Tavern that fog-laden evening. 2 merchants sat hunched over steaming mugs of rum-laced coffee, their voices barely audible above the crackling fireplace. The first merchant, a portly man with elaborate golden rings, spoke of mystical trading stones that allowed him to acquire goods without immediate payment. The second merchant, lean and sharp-eyed, nodded knowingly as he described how these stones connected him to powerful trading houses across the known world. Aldrich leaned closer, his curiosity piqued by terms he had never heard before: crimson stones, reputation tokens, tribute obligations. These concepts seemed to form an intricate system of commerce that operated beyond the traditional exchange of gold coins for merchandise. The merchants spoke of acquiring valuable cargo immediately, while settling accounts at predetermined intervals, creating opportunities that conventional trading methods could never provide. The conversation revealed hints of a sophisticated network where trustworthy merchants could access resources far exceeding their immediate wealth. This system apparently evaluated each trader's reliability through an elaborate scoring mechanism, rewarding consistent performance with increased privileges and more favorable terms. Aldrich realized he was witnessing the edges of something profound, though the complete picture remained tantalizingly out of reach. As the evening progressed, fragments of this mysterious trading system began forming connections in Aldrich's mind. The merchants described elaborate ceremonies where new traders proved their worthiness, detailed records maintained by ancient trading houses, and consequences that befell those who failed to honor their obligations. Yet for every question answered, 3 more emerged, creating an intricate puzzle that would consume Aldrich's thoughts for weeks to come. The implications were staggering. If such a system truly existed, it would revolutionize everything Aldrich understood about commerce, risk, and opportunity. The ability to acquire goods based on future earnings rather than present wealth could transform modest trading ventures into vast commercial empires. However, the merchants also whispered of dangers lurking within this system, suggesting that while the rewards were substantial, the risks were equally significant. That night, as Aldrich lay in his cramped ship's cabin listening to the gentle lapping of harbor waves, he made a decision that would alter the course of his life. Tomorrow, he would seek out the legendary Crimson Harbor Trading Company, rumored to be the oldest and most prestigious institution governing these mystical trading stones. Little did he know that his journey would unveil secrets of commerce that most merchants never discover, even after decades of trading. Aldrich thought understanding the tavern conversation was the end of his education. He was wrong. The real test was about to begin, and it would determine whether he possessed the qualities that separated successful merchants from those who never gained access to the system's true power. The Crimson Harbor Trading Company occupied an imposing 3-story building constructed from dark granite blocks, its facade adorned with intricate carvings depicting ships, treasure chests, and intertwined serpents. Massive oak doors, reinforced with iron bands, stood beneath a weathered stone arch bearing the company's motto, Fides et Fortuna, faith and fortune. Captain Aldrich approached these doors with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. His inquiries throughout Port Eldermere had revealed that the Crimson Harbor Trading Company did not simply distribute their mystical trading stones to anyone who requested them. The company employed elaborate evaluation procedures, examining each applicant's trading history, payment patterns, and overall reliability before granting access to their exclusive services. Inside the building, Aldrich discovered a world of meticulous record-keeping that surpassed anything he had encountered in his 15 years of trading. Clerks with precise handwriting maintained enormous ledgers documenting every transaction, every payment, and every missed obligation of merchants throughout the known world. These records formed the foundation of what the company called reputation tokens, numerical assessments that determined each merchant's eligibility for trading stone privileges. Master Cornelius Ashworth, the company's chief evaluator, explained the intricate process during Aldrich's initial consultation. Every merchant's trading activities generated information that flowed through an extensive network of harbor masters, guild representatives, and trading partners. This information included payment punctuality, debt management, trading volume, and relationship maintenance with suppliers and customers. The reputation token system operated on a scale ranging from 300 to 850 points, Merchants scoring below 450 typically found themselves excluded from trading stone privileges entirely. Those achieving scores between 450 and 600 might receive basic trading stones with modest limits and standard terms. However, merchants maintaining scores above 700 gained access to premium trading stones, offering substantial limits and favorable conditions. Ashworth demonstrated how various activities influenced reputation token scores using elaborate charts and historical examples. Consistent on-time payments increased scores significantly, while missed obligations could devastate a merchant's standing for years. Trading volume also mattered, as merchants handling larger transactions demonstrated greater commercial capacity. Additionally, the diversity of trading relationships indicated stability and reduced risk. The evaluation process required several weeks, during which the company verified information through their vast network of commercial contacts. They examined harbor records, guild membership status, tax payment history, and testimonials from trading partners. This comprehensive approach ensured that only reliable merchants gained access to the privileges and responsibilities of trading stone ownership. Aldrich learned that the company's caution stemmed from hard-earned experience. Early in their history, they had extended trading stone privileges too liberally, resulting in massive losses when unreliable merchants accumulated obligations they could not fulfill. These lessons had shaped the current system, which balanced opportunity with prudent risk management. The application process itself resembled a formal negotiation rather than a simple request. Merchants presented their commercial history, outlined their trading plans, and explained how trading stones would enhance their business operations. The company's evaluators asked probing questions about cash flow management, customer relationships, and contingency planning for unexpected challenges. 3 weeks after submitting his application, Aldrich received notification that his reputation token score of 673 qualified him for intermediate-level trading stone privileges. This achievement represented validation of his 15-year track record of honest dealing and consistent performance, though he sensed that greater mysteries lay ahead in understanding how to utilize these privileges effectively. Receiving the Crimson Stone felt like reaching the summit of a mountain, but as Aldrich would soon discover, he had only climbed the foothills. The stone's true capabilities would reveal themselves through mechanisms so ingenious they would change everything he thought he knew about commerce itself. The crimson trading stone that Master Ashworth presented to Captain Aldrich appeared deceptively simple. A smooth, oval piece of dark red jasper, approximately 3 inches long, inscribed with intricate symbols and Aldrich's name in elegant script. Yet this unassuming object represented access to a sophisticated commercial system that had evolved over centuries of maritime trading. Ashworth explained the stone's operation through a detailed demonstration at a nearby spice merchant's shop. When Aldrich presented the stone for a purchase of valuable saffron threads worth 50 gold pieces, the merchant consulted a leather-bound registry containing information about all authorized trading stones in the region. After verifying Aldrich's identity and confirming his stone's validity, the merchant recorded the transaction in his ledger and released the merchandise. This process created what the trading company termed an obligation cycle. Aldrich now possessed 50 gold pieces worth of saffron, but the Crimson Harbor Trading Company had effectively paid the merchant on his behalf. Within 30 days, Aldrich was expected to settle this obligation by paying the full amount to the trading company, completing the cycle without additional charges. The beauty of this system became apparent when Ashworth described more complex scenarios. Merchants could accumulate multiple obligations across different ports and suppliers, managing their cash flow more effectively than traditional immediate payment methods allowed. A merchant might purchase goods in Port Eldermere, sail to distant markets where those goods commanded premium prices, and use the profits to settle obligations back at the original trading company. However, the trading stone system incorporated sophisticated safety mechanisms that protected both merchants and the trading company from excessive risk. Each merchant received an obligation limit based on their reputation token score and demonstrated commercial capacity. Aldrich's intermediate-level privileges allowed him to accumulate up to 800 gold pieces in outstanding obligations at any given time. The company monitored obligation levels continuously, maintaining detailed records of each merchant's outstanding commitments across all authorized dealers. When merchants approached their limits, additional purchases required either partial payments to reduce existing obligations or temporary restrictions until previous commitments were fulfilled. This system prevented merchants from overextending themselves beyond their ability to pay. Ashworth revealed that the 30-day settlement period represented just the beginning of the trading stone's capabilities. If merchants could not settle their full obligations within this time frame, the system offered alternative arrangements, though these came with additional considerations that most merchants preferred to avoid. The company's flexibility in accommodating various commercial situations made trading stones invaluable tools for managing the unpredictable nature of maritime commerce. The settlement process itself required careful attention to detail. Merchants could visit any authorized Crimson Harbor Trading Company office to review their outstanding obligations, make payments, and plan future transactions. The company provided detailed statements showing each purchase, payment, and remaining balance, enabling merchants to maintain precise control over their financial commitments. Advanced merchants learn to utilize trading stones strategically, timing their purchases and settlements to optimize cash flow and maximize trading opportunities. Some merchants maintained multiple trading relationships, using different stones for various types of commerce, while carefully managing the total obligations across all their accounts. The trading stone system also incorporated security features that protected merchants from theft and fraud. Each stone contained unique identifying marks that were extremely difficult to replicate, and authorized dealers maintained strict verification procedures. If a merchant's stone was lost or stolen, the trading company could deactivate it immediately and issue a replacement, preventing unauthorized use. As Aldrich began utilizing his trading stone for actual commercial transactions, he discovered that the system's true power lay not merely in deferring payments, but in enabling entirely new approaches to commercial planning and execution. The ability to acquire goods based on anticipated future earnings rather than present cash reserves opened possibilities that traditional trading methods could never provide. The basic mechanics seemed straightforward enough, but Aldrich was about to learn that the trading stone system contained layers of sophistication that most merchants never discovered. Hidden beneath the simple 30-day settlement cycle lay opportunities that could transform modest trading ventures into vast commercial empires. 3 months after receiving his Crimson Trading Stone, Captain Aldrich found himself navigating commercial opportunities that would have been impossible under traditional payment methods. His first major success came during an unexpected encounter with a Venetian silk merchant whose ship had suffered storm damage, forcing him to sell premium merchandise at substantially reduced prices to avoid spoilage. Under conventional circumstances, Aldrich would have lacked the immediate gold reserves to capitalize on this opportunity. The silk's market value exceeded 1,200 gold pieces, far beyond his available cash. However, his trading stone enabled him to acquire the entire inventory immediately, transport it to northern markets where silk commanded premium prices, and settle his obligations using the substantial profits from this venture. This transaction revealed the trading stone's fundamental advantage: the ability to act decisively when profitable opportunities emerged, regardless of immediate cash availability. Successful merchants learned to maintain sufficient obligation capacity specifically for such unexpected situations, positioning themselves to benefit from market fluctuations that caught less prepared competitors off guard. The Crimson Harbor Trading Company had designed their system to encourage responsible use through a sophisticated rewards program that provided additional benefits to merchants who utilized their trading stones effectively. Aldrich discovered these advantages during his 4th month of stone ownership, when Master Ashworth informed him that his consistent settlement record had earned him access to enhanced privileges. These enhanced privileges took several forms, each designed to support different aspects of commercial activity. The company offered navigation bonuses, reduced fees for harbor services at ports throughout their network. They provided commodity credits that could be applied towards specific types of merchandise, effectively providing discounts on goods that merchants traded most frequently. Some merchants specialized in building voyage points through their trading stone activities. These points could be redeemed for passage on premium trading expeditions, access to exclusive cargo manifests, or priority berthing at busy ports during peak trading seasons. The most valuable rewards required substantial accumulation of points over extended periods, encouraging long-term loyalty to the trading stone system. The company also offered establishment credits that merchants could use at affiliated inns, supply houses, and repair facilities across their trading network. These credits proved particularly valuable during extended voyages, when access to quality services at known, reliable establishments could mean the difference between profitable and disastrous trading expeditions. Advanced merchants discovered that certain trading stones provided specialized bonuses aligned with specific types of commerce. Spice traders might receive enhanced rewards for transactions involving exotic seasonings and medicinal herbs. Textile merchants could earn bonus credits for dealing in fine fabrics and rare dyes. These specialized programs encouraged merchants to develop expertise in particular areas while providing additional incentives for consistent trading stone usage. The most prestigious trading stones, available only to merchants with exceptional reputation token scores, included privileges that bordered on the extraordinary. These elite stones provided access to private trading expeditions, exclusive partnerships with renowned craftsmen, and invitations to annual gatherings where the most successful merchants shared strategies and formed lucrative business relationships. Aldrich learned that the reward system operated on multiple tiers, with benefits accumulating based on both transaction volume and settlement consistency. Merchants who maintained perfect payment records while conducting substantial volumes of business earned the most valuable rewards, while those who occasionally missed obligations or traded infrequently received more modest benefits. The psychological impact of these rewards proved as important as their practical value. Merchants found themselves motivated to utilize their trading stones more frequently and maintain excellent settlement records, not merely to avoid negative consequences, but to earn increasingly valuable privileges. This positive reinforcement cycle benefited both merchants and the trading company, creating a system where success bred further success. Security represented another crucial advantage of the trading stone system. When Aldrich's original stone was damaged during a particularly rough Atlantic crossing, the Crimson Harbor Trading Company replaced it within days, maintaining all his accumulated rewards and privileges. Traditional gold-based trading offered no equivalent protection against loss or theft. The company's extensive network also provided merchants with access to market information and trading intelligence that individual operators could never obtain independently. Members of the trading stone system received regular updates on commodity prices, weather conditions affecting trade routes, and political developments that might impact commercial activities in various regions. Success was intoxicating, but Aldrich's education was far from complete. Every powerful system contained dangers proportional to its benefits, and the trading stones harbored secrets that could destroy unprepared merchants as surely as they elevated the wise. The next lesson would be written in someone else's ruin. Captain Aldrich's introduction to the darker aspects of trading stone commerce came through the cautionary tale of Bartholomew Grimwald, a once prosperous wool merchant whose story served as a sobering reminder of the system's potential dangers. Master Ashworth related Grimwald's downfall during one of their regular settlement meetings, emphasizing how quickly trading stone privileges could transform from valuable tools into devastating burdens. Grimwald had been a successful merchant for over 2 decades, maintaining excellent reputation token scores and enjoying premium trading stone privileges. His downfall began when he became overconfident in his ability to manage multiple simultaneous obligations across different markets. Rather than maintaining conservative obligation levels, Grimwald had pushed his limits, accumulating outstanding commitments that approached the maximum allowed under his trading stone terms. The crisis arrived when political tensions disrupted his primary trading routes, preventing him from reaching northern markets where his wool inventory typically commanded premium prices. Unable to sell his goods at expected profit margins, Grimwald found himself unable to settle his obligations within the standard 30-day period. This failure triggered the trading stone system's consequences, introducing him to concepts he had previously understood only in abstract terms. When merchants failed to settle their obligations within the specified timeframe, the Crimson Harbor Trading Company imposed tribute obligations, additional charges calculated as a percentage of the outstanding amount. These tribute obligations were not merely punitive. They represented the company's cost of maintaining unsettled accounts and compensating for the increased risk associated with overdue obligations. The tribute obligation system operated on graduated scales that increased based on both the amount owed and the duration of the delinquency. For the first month beyond the settlement deadline, merchants faced tribute obligations calculated at 12% annually of their outstanding balance. This percentage increased to 18% annually for obligations outstanding between 30 and 60 days, and 24% annually for obligations exceeding 60 days. Ashworth explained these calculations using Grimwald's actual numbers to demonstrate the mathematical progression. When Grimwald first missed his settlement deadline, he owed 400 gold pieces in outstanding obligations. The 12% annual tribute obligation added 4 gold pieces to his debt after the first month. However, this additional amount became part of his total balance, meaning that subsequent tribute obligations were calculated based on 404 gold pieces rather than the original 400. This compounding effect represented the most treacherous aspect of trading stone debt. Each month that Grimwald failed to settle his obligations, the tribute obligations were calculated based on his increasingly larger total balance. After 2 months, his debt had grown to 408 gold pieces and 16 copper pieces. After 3 months, it reached 412 gold pieces and 33 copper pieces. The progression appeared modest initially, but Ashworth demonstrated how quickly these amounts could escalate. If Grimwald had owed 2,000 gold pieces instead of 400, his monthly tribute obligations would have been proportionally larger, creating a debt spiral that could consume even substantial trading profits. The mathematical nature of compounding tribute obligations meant that delays in settlement created increasingly severe financial consequences. Grimwald's situation deteriorated further when he attempted to use additional trading stone purchases to generate quick profits for debt settlement. This strategy backfired when his new ventures also encountered difficulties, adding fresh obligations to his already problematic debt load. Rather than solving his original problems, these additional transactions magnified his financial predicament. The Crimson Harbor Trading Company offered several alternatives to merchants facing settlement difficulties, though each option carried its own implications. Merchants could choose to make minimum tribute payments that prevented additional penalties while keeping their trading stone privileges active. However, these minimum payments typically covered only the tribute obligations without reducing the principal debt, potentially extending repayment periods indefinitely. Another option involved obligation restructuring, where the company would negotiate extended settlement terms in exchange for modified trading stone privileges. Merchants accepting these arrangements might face reduced obligation limits, higher tribute obligation rates for future transactions, or requirements to pledge specific cargo or trading assets as security for their debts. The company also maintained detailed records of all settlement difficulties, which influenced merchants' reputation token scores for years to come. Even after successfully resolving debt problems, merchants found that their trading stone privileges remained restricted until they demonstrated sustained periods of reliable settlement performance. This system protected the company while encouraging merchants to address obligation problems promptly. Grimwald's story concluded with partial recovery after he liquidated several trading assets and accepted modified trading stone terms that slowly rebuilt his commercial standing over 18 months. However, his experience illustrated how trading stone obligations could transform from valuable commercial tools into consuming financial burdens when merchants failed to manage them prudently. Understanding what could go wrong was only half the equation. What Aldrich hadn't yet realized was that the trading stone system contained an intricate web of additional mechanisms, each designed to extract value in ways that most merchants discovered only when it was too late to avoid them. As Captain Aldrich's experience with trading stone commerce deepened, he encountered an intricate web of additional charges that extended far beyond the basic tribute obligations for overdue settlements. These various fees represented the Crimson Harbor Trading Company's methods for managing different aspects of their comprehensive commercial services, though merchants often discovered them only when specific circumstances triggered their application. The most immediate additional cost that Aldrich encountered was the stone activation fee, charged when merchants first received their trading stones. This fee covered the company's administrative costs for reputation evaluation, stone preparation, and account establishment. While modest in comparison to the trading privileges gained, the activation fee represented the first indication that trading stone ownership involved ongoing financial commitments beyond basic obligation settlements. Monthly stone maintenance fees supported the company's extensive network of authorized dealers, record-keeping systems, and communication infrastructure that enabled trading stones to function across vast geographic regions. These fees varied based on the type and privileges associated with each merchant's stone, with premium stones carrying higher maintenance costs in exchange for their enhanced benefits and higher obligation limits. Merchants who failed to settle obligations by specified deadlines faced delinquency penalties in addition to standard tribute obligations. These penalties served multiple purposes: compensating the company for increased administrative costs associated with collection efforts, discouraging merchants from treating settlement deadlines casually, and providing funds for maintaining the overall stability of the trading stone system. The company imposed excessive usage fees on merchants who approached or exceeded their obligation limits repeatedly within short timeframes. These fees reflected the increased risk assessment required for merchants who consistently operated at maximum capacity, as well as the additional monitoring and communication necessary to prevent system abuse. Merchants could avoid these fees by maintaining conservative obligation levels relative to their authorized limits. Currency exchange fees applied when merchants conducted trading stone transactions involving foreign currencies or exotic commodities that required special handling. The company's network extended across regions using different monetary systems, and these fees covered the costs of currency conversion, exchange rate risk management, and coordination with foreign trading partners. Aldrich discovered emergency settlement fees when he needed to make an urgent obligation payment outside normal business hours to take advantage of a time-sensitive trading opportunity. These fees compensated company personnel for providing services during irregular hours and maintaining the flexibility that made trading stones valuable for responsive commercial operations. Account modification fees applied when merchants requested changes to their trading stone privileges, obligation limits, or settlement terms. These fees covered the administrative costs of updating company records, communicating changes to authorized dealers throughout the network, and processing any necessary documentation revisions. Some of the most substantial additional costs came in the form of overextension penalties for merchants who attempted to exceed their authorized obligation limits. The company's systems detected these attempts automatically, declining the unauthorized transactions while imposing penalties that reflected both the administrative cost of managing the declined transaction and the increased risk associated with merchants who attempted to circumvent established limits. Inactivity fees affected merchants who maintained trading stones but failed to use them for extended periods. These fees helped offset the ongoing costs of maintaining unused accounts while encouraging merchants to either utilize their privileges actively or surrender their stones to merchants who would benefit from them more substantially. The company also imposed geographic extension fees for merchants who wish to use their trading stones in regions outside their original authorization areas. These fees supported the administrative costs of establishing new dealer relationships, verifying merchant credentials in unfamiliar markets, and managing the increased complexity of multi-regional commercial operations. Priority processing fees enabled merchants to expedite various trading stone services, from settlement processing to obligation limit modifications. While the company provided standard services within reasonable timeframes, merchants could pay additional fees to receive faster processing when business opportunities demanded immediate action. Ashworth explained that these various fees served important functions within the trading stone ecosystem, though he acknowledged that merchants often found them frustrating until they understood the underlying rationale. Each fee corresponded to specific services or risk factors that the company managed on behalf of its merchant network, and the fee structure was designed to ensure that merchants who utilized particular services bore the appropriate share of associated costs. The cumulative effect of these fees could be substantial for merchants who utilized trading stones carelessly or failed to understand the full cost structure. However, merchants who operated prudently and maintained good settlement records found that the fees represented a small fraction of the commercial benefits that trading stone privileges provided. Understanding and managing these various fees became essential skills for successful trading stone commerce. Aldrich learned to factor fee considerations into his commercial planning, ensuring that the benefits of specific transactions exceeded not only the obvious costs, but also the various additional charges that might apply based on the circumstances involved. The fees were just the surface. Beneath lay the true art of trading stone mastery, secrets known only to those who had progressed beyond survival to genuine expertise. What Aldrich was about to learn would separate him forever from merchants who merely used the system from those who truly understood it. 2 years after receiving his first Crimson trading stone, Captain Aldrich had evolved from a curious newcomer to an accomplished practitioner of mystical commerce. His transformation reflected not merely technical knowledge of the trading stone system, but a deeper understanding of the principles that governed successful long-term commercial relationships. Master Ashworth recognized this evolution when he invited Aldrich to participate in the company's annual gathering of elite merchants. This exclusive gathering brought together the most successful trading stone users from across the known world, providing opportunities to share strategies, form partnerships, and learn advanced techniques from merchants who had mastered every aspect of the system. Aldrich discovered that true expertise in trading stone commerce extended far beyond simply avoiding debt problems and managing obligations effectively. The most successful merchants treated their trading stones as sophisticated financial instruments rather than convenient payment alternatives. They maintained detailed records tracking not only their current obligations but also seasonal patterns in their businesses, optimal timing for major purchases, and the relationships between various types of transactions and their overall commercial performance. Annual Percentage of Tribute, or APT, emerged as a crucial concept that separated novice trading stone users from advanced practitioners. APT represented the total annual cost of maintaining trading stone obligations, including not only tribute obligations on overdue amounts, but also various fees, opportunity costs, and the complexity of managing multiple simultaneous commitments. Advanced merchants learned to compare APT rates across different trading stone providers, seeking the most favorable terms for their particular types of commerce. They also understood how their own behavior influenced these rates, maintaining settlement patterns and usage levels that qualified them for the most advantageous APT terms available within their reputation categories. Strategic merchants selected trading stones that aligned with their primary commercial activities, maximizing rewards while minimizing costs. Spice traders focused on stones offering enhanced benefits for exotic commodity transactions, Textile merchants chose stones providing superior rewards for fabric and dye purchases. This specialization enabled merchants to extract maximum value from their trading stone relationships. The elite merchants employed sophisticated obligation cycling strategies, timing their purchases and settlements to maintain optimal cash flow while maximizing trading stone rewards. They understood that settling obligations immediately after purchase eliminated tribute obligation risks, but also forfeited the cash flow advantages that made trading stones valuable in the first place. Credit utilization ratios represented another advanced concept that distinguished expert practitioners. The most successful merchants maintained total obligations at approximately 30% of their authorized limits, demonstrating responsible usage while preserving capacity for unexpected opportunities. This ratio optimization required continuous monitoring and strategic planning that novice merchants rarely achieved. Expert merchants also mastered the art of reward optimization, structuring their trading stone usage to earn maximum benefits from the company's various bonus programs. They concentrated their transactions during special promotional periods, aligned their purchases with categories offering enhanced rewards, and maintained activity levels that qualified them for the most valuable annual bonuses. Advanced practitioners developed comprehensive tracking systems that monitored all their trading stone activities across multiple accounts and time periods. These systems enabled them to identify patterns in their commercial behavior, optimize their settlement timing, and make informed decisions about when to utilize trading stone privileges versus traditional payment methods. The most sophisticated merchants understood that trading stone success required treating the system as a long-term strategic partnership rather than a short-term convenience. They maintained impeccable settlement records, not merely to avoid penalties, but to qualify for increasingly valuable privileges that enhanced their commercial capabilities over time. Risk management represented the final element that distinguished truly expert trading stone practitioners. These merchants maintained emergency reserves, specifically for settling trading stone obligations during unexpected difficulties, diversified their commercial activities to avoid excessive dependence on any single market or commodity, and regularly reassessed their obligation levels relative to their actual commercial capacity. Aldrich's journey from curious newcomer to accomplished practitioner had revealed that trading stone mastery required integrating technical knowledge with strategic thinking, mathematical precision with commercial intuition, and short-term tactical decisions with long-term relationship building. The merchants who achieved the greatest success with trading stones were those who understood that the system's true value lay not in deferring payments but in enabling entirely new approaches to commercial planning and execution. The ancient wisdom of trading stone commerce ultimately revealed itself as a sophisticated system for managing the relationship between present opportunities and future obligations. Masters of this system learned to navigate these relationships with precision and confidence, transforming the mystical trading stones from mere payment alternatives into powerful tools for building substantial and lasting commercial success. As Aldrich stood on the deck of his expanded fleet, watching ships laden with carefully selected cargo navigate the harbor under his direction, he reflected on how profoundly the trading stone system had transformed his understanding of commerce itself. The crimson stones had provided not merely access to credit, but education in the fundamental principles that governed successful business relationships: trust, responsibility, strategic planning, and the patient cultivation of reputation over time. The mystical commerce that had once seemed impossibly complex now appeared as an elegant system designed to reward prudent merchants while providing safeguards against excessive risk. Captain Aldrich had discovered that the greatest magic within the trading stone system was not the ability to acquire goods without immediate payment, but the opportunity to develop the knowledge, discipline, and strategic thinking that enabled merchants to build thriving commercial enterprises that would prosper for generations to come. 7 years. That's how long it took for Aldrich to transform from curious observer to acknowledged master. But the true measure of his journey wasn't wealth or reputation. It was what he chose to do with the knowledge that had changed his life. And that choice would echo through generations. 7 years after receiving his first crimson trading stone. The autumn winds carried the scent of distant spices as Captain Aldrich Blackwood stood on the elevated balcony of his newly constructed maritime academy, overlooking the bustling Port Eldermere harbor. Below, dozens of ships flew the banners of his expanded trading consortium, their holds filled with carefully selected cargo from across the known world. At 52, Aldrich had evolved far beyond the curious merchant who first overheard whispers of mystical trading stones in the salty Seahorse Tavern. His weathered hands now held not just the reins of a prosperous commercial empire, but the responsibility of educating the next generation of merchants in the sophisticated arts of modern commerce. Young merchants from distant ports traveled to Port Eldermere specifically to study under Aldrich's guidance, drawn by stories of his legendary mastery of the trading stone system. His academy had become renowned throughout the maritime world for producing merchants who understood not merely the mechanics of credit-based commerce, but the deeper principles that governed long-term commercial success. "Remember," Aldrich told his newest class of apprentice merchants as they gathered in the academy's main hall, surrounded by charts depicting global trade routes, "the true power of the Crimson Stones lies not in their ability to defer payment, but in their capacity to teach us patience, discipline, and strategic thinking. These lessons extend far beyond any single transaction or trading season." The Crimson Harbor Trading Company had recognized Aldrich's contributions to their system by appointing him as Regional Master Evaluator, a position that allowed him to guide company policies while maintaining his own trading operations. His reputation token score had reached the theoretical maximum, granting him access to the most exclusive trading privileges available within their network. Yet Aldrich's greatest satisfaction came not from his commercial achievements, but from watching former students establish their own successful trading ventures throughout the maritime world. They carried with them not only technical knowledge of trading stone commerce, but an understanding that true prosperity required building relationships based on trust, honor, and mutual benefit. As the harbor lights began twinkling in the gathering dusk, Aldrich reflected on how the mysterious conversation he had overheard 7 years ago had transformed not only his own life, but had contributed to a fundamental evolution in how merchants approached commerce itself. The trading stone system had become more than a convenient alternative to gold-based transactions. It had become a comprehensive education in the principles that would govern commercial relationships for generations to come. In his private study that evening, Aldrich added a final entry to the comprehensive journal he had maintained throughout his trading stone journey. "The greatest treasure we discover in mastering these ancient arts is not wealth, but wisdom. The understanding that true success in commerce, as in life, comes from honoring our obligations, supporting our communities, and leaving the world of trade more prosperous and trustworthy than we found it." The Crimson Stones had revealed their ultimate secret. They were not merely tools for conducting business, but instruments for building character, and through character, lasting prosperity that would endure long after any individual merchant had sailed his final voyage.